Hello guys, thought I would start this video a little differently than normal. Since I've been talking so much about the boy right there, I thought I would actually show y'all the troublemaker. This is Loudmouth. Actually, that's not his name. I don't know what his name's going to be. We were thinking maybe Leroy. But we haven't decided yet. But yeah, this is the dude that likes to shout during my videos. He has a lot of things to say. And he's friendly. He lets me pet him. Out of the 5 roosters that we had, he was the last one to start crowing. So he doesn't crow as loud or as often as the other boys did. And he's just really docile, so he's cool. We like him, except when he starts screaming when I'm trying to talk about books. So anyway guys, I just wanted to give you all an introduction to the chaos that goes on around my house. And now you can put a face to all the interruptions that I have for my videos. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Stacy. This is going to be my July reading wrap up. I have another video featuring a few books that I finished within like the first week of July, but this is what I read for the rest of July. There's only 5 books on this list, so hopefully we can get through this kind of quickly. And let's just jump right in. The first book that I finished in July was Dreams of Savannah by Rosanna M. White, and that was, sorry for the rooster. He was quiet until I came out here and started talking, and I think it's when he hears my voice that he starts talking back to me, because otherwise he doesn't say anything. Anyway. This book was our Christian book club pick for the month of July. It was historical fiction. It was historical fiction set during the time of the Civil War in Georgia / Cuba. Was that I'm pretty sure it was Cuba. And it's most definitely a romance book. A lot of the book has to do with a couple who want to be together, but there's circumstances that are keeping them apart. I gave this book 4 stars. I thought it had likable characters, and I know some people didn't really like the main character, Cordelia. I don't know if I really liked her all that much, but I did really like her enthusiasm for storytelling. I thought those parts where she was a writer. She was constantly thinking up stories in her mind and putting things that were happening in real life into story form and using that as a way to help other people get through hard times. And I thought those scenes were really, really cool. There was also a character named Luther who was a preacher, and I loved him so much. He's one of my favorite characters that I've read in a really long time. His faith was phenomenal. He was just such a great guy. I really enjoyed any scene that he was in it. The book had really good faith in it, and I really did like how it kind of all came together in the end. So yeah, 4 stars. I enjoyed it. And my neighbor just started their lawnmower. I don't know how loud that is for you guys. Maybe if I just talk super loud, it'll be fine. But I really don't want to film inside because I just hate filming inside. I feel so weird filming in the house because there's like always people there, and I don't have like a space where I can go shut the door. Well, I guess I could, but the backgrounds would be... So yeah, I just don't enjoy filming inside, so I'd rather be outside. Anyway, the next book that I finished was called The Red Canary by Rachel Scott McDaniel. I gave this one 4 stars as well. It is another historical Christian fiction, but this one takes place in the 1920s. It starts out at a speakeasy in Pittsburgh, and I love anything set during the time of Prohibition and speakeasy and mobsters and all that sort of thing. I just really love that world. Not that I would want to like live through all that. It wasn't a good world. It wasn't a good time, but I just find it really interesting. So this was about a singer who worked in the nightclub or the speakeasy, and she overhears a murder, and she has to go into witness protection program. And then, you know, of course, the guy who is trying to keep her safe, there's a little romance thing going on. He's a really, really good character. He's very faith-filled. There's a lot of faith in the book. So yeah, I don't want to give anything else away, but I really did enjoy that book, and I want to read some other stuff by that author because I've never heard of her before, but she does have some other historical Christian fiction books. The next book that I read was a recommendation from Kristie at Kristie's Purple Library. She had a video, I will link it down below. She had a video talking about, I think it was her favorite Christian fiction books, or Christian fiction books you should read, something like that. I will link it. Anyway, she mentioned this series of books by Dekker and Tosca, and I just read Demon by Tosca in June and really liked it, and so I wanted to pick this up, and I actually owned the first book of the series. It is Forbidden, book 1 of the Books of Mortals series. So this is Christian sci-fi. It takes place in the future, like 400 years in the future. And so there's a major war of some sort, and scientists, or they're called alchemists, they have discovered a way to basically turn off human emotions. So like anger, lust, love, even, all those emotions get turned off. The only thing that is left in humans is fear. A vial of blood gets brought into the story, and it basically comes down to, and I think this is all in the back of the book, so I'm not really giving spoilers, but the blood gives life. It wakes you up from the death that people are living. Is this book an allegory? Is that what I'm trying to say? What is the type of book where it's not talking about Jesus, but you know it's talking about Jesus? Like it's running parallel to the gospel? Is it an allegory? I really should look this stuff up. But that's what this is. There are some really hard things in this book, some really tough scenes. If you're squeamish at all, there is some like murder scenes that are described in here. There are some, not sex scenes, but where you know what is happening, and it's not nice sex. I'll just say that. Not nice sex is happening, and there are some kiss scenes and things like that in here. I just want to give you guys a heads up because I'm all into trigger warnings. So if there's anything you guys, don't want to read, then this is a tough one. I really liked how fast paced it was. I really liked how interesting the story was. I love dystopian stuff. I love stuff set in the future and to see just how depraved humanity gets. But then I love that there's like this savior character that gets brought in. So yeah, this is book 1. My library has book 2 and 3, and I went to get it yesterday on Sunday, and I discovered that my library is closed on Sundays. I didn't know that. I do want to continue with the series, so thank you, Kristie from Kristie's Purple Library. The next book that I finished is called The Illusionist Apprentice by Kristie Cambron. This one is historical Christian fiction. This one was also set in the 1920s. I think it was still 1920s in Boston. This one is a mystery romance, and it's pretty heavy on the mystery. I really enjoyed the mystery aspect of this book. I felt like the mystery part of it was really in the beginning, not really much in the middle, but it really popped in the end, and I was shocked. I did not see the things coming that happened. So kudos to Kristie Cambron for that. So this is about a woman, an illusionist, who studied under Harry Houdini, which is a fascinating person. He is just really, really interesting. So a lot of the stuff in this book is based off of his real life, but this book isn't about Harry Houdini because Harry Houdini is already dead by the time this book starts. So it's about his apprentice, and she talks about Harry Houdini a little bit, but it's not about him. But look him up because he was a really cool guy. Even though he did all these illusions and tricks and things, he was very much against magic. People saying that they were using real magic. He was against seances, spiritualism. He actually went to Congress to fight against people who claimed to be spiritualists because he said they were stealing people's money and tricking people into believing that they could talk to the dead. So I just think it's super cool. His whole life is really cool. But in the very beginning, there is a different magician, illusionist, I'm not really sure what he's called, and he's in a graveyard, and it looks like he pulls someone up from the grave, brings him back to life, and then that person dies. So the FBI gets involved to try to figure out what exactly happened in the graveyard, and then they pull her, the girl, into the investigation, and the book takes off from there. It's so good that the last trip I made to the library, before I found out that the library was closed on Sunday, I got The Ringmaster's Wife by Kristie Cambron, because that one is about the Ringling Brothers Circus in some way. And I just love history where I learn things about real people or real things. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, moving on. The last book that I read, and I literally just finished it last night, it's called The Short Straw Bride by Karen Whitmire. This is book 1, and I think a trilogy, and I know some people who really loved book 2, Stealing a Preacher, I think. So I think I will read book 2 because people who I trust really like book 2. But book 1, I gave it 2 stars. It started out really well. It reminded me of Jeanette Oak's writing, and because it was set in Texas during a time period that Jeanette Oak writes about a lot, and so I was like, oh, this is great. Plus, it did have excellent faith content in it. There was a lot of faith, and I love that. I'm always gonna call that out when that's in a book. I think more Christian fiction, hello dog, I think more Christian fiction needs way more faith content. So it had great faith, but it kind of got a little weird. It was about a girl who had been in love with this guy that she met once, been in love with him for years. Circumstances happened. They end up getting married, even though they really didn't know each other. And so he was giving her like space to kind of get used to the situation of them being married. And really, a fair chunk of the book is her trying to figure out how to get her new husband into bed. Like how to consummate the marriage. She talked about it a lot. She thought about it. She went and talked to one of her friends about it. And I just thought it was kind of weird. Like, why are we spending so much time on this subject? I don't know. And then the end of the book, it was insane. It was like so many crazy things all happening at once. And I'm like, I don't think that would happen. It wouldn't play out like that. I was kind of rolling my eyes while I was reading it. So yeah, I just was not a fan, but I will try book 2. There you have it. Those are the 5 books that I read in July. I hope y'all had a great reading month, and I will see y'all soon. Bye.